Bonsoir, my darlings. Close your eyes and imagine the city of lights. Picture twinkling lanterns reflecting on the Seine River, the alluring melody of street performers echoing through the cobblestone paths of Montmartre. This is where our story begins, a tale swirling with passion, intrigue, and, of course, a little scandal. It's called The Paris Rendezvous. Now let's dive in. Meet Amélie, a New Yorker visiting Paris for the first time. She's stylish, charming, and carrying just a bit of jet lag. Amélie had arrived fresh from JFK with a designer suitcase in tow and a determination to soak up everything Paris had to offer. Croissants, wine, art, and maybe a dash of romance. Totally an eat, pray, love vibe, but with much better shoes. As evening set in, she wandered into a little bistro tucked along a quiet Parisian street, the kind with checkered tablecloths, a rosy glow from candlelight, and the faint scent of French onion soup wafting in the air. Rugged waiters whisked by effortlessly, pretending not to care that they were being practically ogled by every patron. And who could blame them? Frenchmen have a certain je ne sais quoi. But for Amélie, that night wasn't about the waiters. Oh no. In the corner of the room sat someone who stopped her in her tracks. A man, tall, mysterious, with an air of nonchalance as he sipped from a goblet of Bordeaux. His dark hair curled rebelliously over his forehead, and he wore a trench coat like he'd stepped straight out of an old black and white film. Très chic, right? Amélie took the only available seat, coincidentally, or perhaps fatefully, directly next to him. His name, as she soon found out, was Gabriel. Not Gabe, but Gabriel. The kind of name you draw out, like a breathless sigh. He had the voice to match. Low, measured, with just a hint of a French accent. Quite swoon-worthy, if you ask me. As the hours tiptoed by, the two shared an escalating wave of flirty banter. Turns out Gabriel wasn't just out for a casual Bordeaux. He worked in art restoration, meticulously breathing life into paintings older than the Eiffel Tower itself. Amélie, who'd always thought of museums as places to nap during field trips, suddenly became the world's most enthusiastic art lover. Maybe it was the candlelight? Or perhaps the fact that she couldn't stop staring at his lips while he talked about Baroque techniques. Both are valid theories. And then, it happened. A gesture so bold, it could only be inspired by Paris. Gabriel's hand, ever so casually, slid to rest on Amélie's wrist, tracing light, deliberate circles upon her skin, as if drawing an invisible map to somewhere magical. She froze. The bistro's hum seemed to quiet. It was just the two of them in that moment, until the waiter broke the spell, handing Amélie the bill. Classic movie interruption, am I right? But Gabriel wasn't about to let fate play coy. He slid a small, cream-colored card across the table before she could even search her wallet. The card had an address, a museum closed for renovations, known for keeping its secrets as securely as its artifacts. He invited her there at midnight. Midnight? The witching hour. Sounds more intriguing than a touristy visit to the Champs-Élysées, don't you think? Fast forward a few hours, and we find Amélie in her swanky Parisian hotel bathroom. Red lipstick? Check. A slinky black dress? You bet. She looked like Bond girl meets Holly Golightly as she stepped into the cool Parisian air, walking briskly toward the clandestine rendezvous. The museum's vast halls glistened under muted moonlight as she entered. Gabriel waited inside with a lantern in hand, leading her through the shadows to a private wing of the museum. The scent of history mixed with the intoxicating aroma of their proximity. It turns out Gabriel's art restoration job gave him after-hours access to this labyrinth, a playground for stolen kisses and whispered secrets. They meandered past statues of gorgeous marble gods and equally captivating oil paintings. Their electric chemistry lit up each step, culminating in the pièce de résistance, a pale statue of Aphrodite. The goddess of love, Gabriel murmured as he moved closer to Amélie, their faces mere inches apart. He leaned in, not abrupt, not hesitant, but deliberate, and paused just slightly to savor the tension before their lips finally met. Now, I'm not going to exaggerate and say sparks flew, but I wouldn't blame anyone for hearing imaginary fireworks. It was that kind of kiss. The kind that leaves you feeling dizzy in the best way, stumbling through space and time. Paris magic caught up with them, and for once, it wasn't the city standing still. It was Amélie and Gabriel caught in its timeless romance. But then, just as things were getting steamier, the moment broke when a loud bleep, that's right, a real-life, bleep-worthy sound echoed through the gallery. Turns out, they weren't exactly alone after all. An alarm Gabriel forgot to disable was triggered, sending them laughing and frantically running through corridors like lovers in a heist movie. And so, Stella wraps her words like a tasty macaron. Amélie and Gabriel's night ended not in handcuffs of passion, but nearly in real handcuffs. Still, could anyone blame them for taking risks in the name of romance? And with that tantalizing morsel, Stella leans back with her signature smirk, saying, "Until next time, mes amigos, share your wild stories, or made-up ones. I'm always here to spill more tea, or Bordeaux, if the mood strikes. A bientôt."